I've wanted to come up to Scotland to visit customers and installers for a long time, as we've certainly got a higher concentration of customers here than anywhere else. So I'm in Portsoy, on the coast of Scotland, east of Inverness. It's absolutely stunning, as a whole drive up has been, and we're here to see the guys with the greatest number of chimneys over on the edge of town. Hutchesons of Portsoy have been wonderful partners in installing our units, initially for customers who bought them direct from us, and now supplying them direct. They're a family company. Neil's father started it, and he works now with his sister and his son, and have a showroom here and further south in Inverurie near Aberdeen. So I'm here with Neil in Portsoy in this beautiful showroom, amazing number of stoves, and talking to him both about the shop, the area that they cover, but also the generations of expertise that they bring to fitting stoves and heating systems in this area. Right, okay, so here we are at Hutchesons with Neil, and he's going to show us around. You're going to show us around the beautiful showroom.
The lovely bit building.
Yeah, great.
So let you follow me, well, okay.
What an amazing place. You've got such a range of appliances. I'm not sure I've ever seen so many beautiful stoves in one place.
And then the rest of our lovely branch to here.
And here's the Recoheat. Does it make a big difference to the heating in here?
We've noticed a huge difference. Previously we needed to light an extra stove, in a showroom area, to make it comfortable.
Yeah.
We can reduce it down by one stove since we've put Recoheat in.
Oh, really?
And it's not a well insulated building, it's just an industrial building. So it's made a huge difference.
Oh, fantastic. So you're getting twice as much out of it?
Definitely, yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant. Oh, that was... Sam Hamer said the same in over where he's in Blackpool, and they were only using one, so it was a sort of fairly simple calculation then.
Exactly, it's a great demonstration for customers, and they can feel the tangible heat from it, as you see even standing here.
Yeah, it's great. It's a beautiful showroom, and you've got a
Yes,
it's an essay
as well. Wood fired and electric are the main sellers now. Yeah.
And what sort of area do you cover?
Because we're on the coastline here, and we're in a lovely area which doesn't have such a high population, we travel, probably about 100, 120 miles, something like that.
Right.
And just to get the population. And because we've got a second showroom, closer to Aberdeen, that's moved the centre of our business a wee bit more towards the sort of east and south as well.
Right. So Neil, you're talking about your background is in wet systems.
Yes, that's right. So all my working life on the tools, was in wet central heat systems. But I strongly believe the direction of things really is to heat towards the air. So of course the Recoheat is just brilliant at doing, because that's the best way to transfer heat, from your appliance into the air, rather than transferring it into pipework or other tanks or whatever it might be. So it's a great thing, when I came across the Recoheat in there, because it was just exactly what we're looking for. People have been trying to move heat into air, for ages, but of course doing it with too larger diameter ducts, and you just wind up moving drafts, rather than hot air. Right. So obviously you've perfected the idea of making tangible heat. Right.
And what sort of area are you comparing? Because the advantage of a wet system is that you're putting it into the through radiators, which can be in other rooms and upstairs, and that's generally people are trying to transfer the heat from the local area around their stove into other parts of the house.
Exactly, and there is a point there that do you want radiators heated or underfloor heating, in every room in there. Sometimes when you analyse it, bedrooms are not a high priority for people who want to be comfortable, but not too much heat. Yeah. Quite often they rule that out in there. If you've got your stoves in the main areas, hallways or living areas or open rooms, sort of family kitchen areas in there.
Yeah.
If you heat them, your stove in there and your Recoheat,
Yeah.
that's the bulk. Of your heating. You may occasionally flick something else on, somewhere else. So that's how I see things going.
No, because I think that's a big difference with your stove and Recoheat, is that you've actually got an area that's really warm, and and that's actually, for a lot of people, that's what you want if it's cold. You're heating one area intensively, and then the other areas enough, so that they're not uncomfortable.
And another super point you're putting across there is people looking historically to burn stoves overnight.
Yeah.
So be careful obviously with combustion doing that.
Yeah.
As you say, the recovery time on your Recoheat, which delivering heat so quickly within minutes of being lit, creating that pressure, pushing that air out the doorway into the next room or into the hallway in there. Then you don't need it to be burning. All night in there and risking bad combustion. Yeah,
it's funny, isn't it? The things that make a difference and just change. Yeah, it kind of just does change how a stove functions, doesn't it? Within the house.
The potential, increases so much in there. Yeah. And of course, during lockdown, when people were at home and sort of camping out more in one area, working from their office or whatever it might be, as I do at home, and they found out all these things, and they're now focusing on heating key areas in the house, just because of the cost of fuel, especially electric. And they are. So, I'll tell you what I'm going to say before you're got.
Okay.
So it was just that we're fitting a Recoheat for a customer just 2 weeks ago.
Right.
And instead of the heat coming straight into the room here, it was a central, chimney stack.
Right.
So that the customer liked the stove, heating the whole area.
Yeah.
And we actually heated, another sitting room which was sort of diagonally behind. Just put the Recoheat, through the wall, that direction in there.
Right.
It's very effective. The chap was originally going to be looking at a boiler stove, but between, the space heating stove and the Recoheat, he actually was able to heat his whole house in there. So he didn't bother with a boiler stove at all.
That's amazing. So he was doing he put an extension on it. You put an extension through the wall on it.
Yes, exactly.
And you found that.
Exactly. Just worked fine. Yeah.
Oh, that's
so it wasn't too far. It was. I suppose it's a similar distance to come into the room. Yeah. But it just went through a wee wall and it just heated the next room.
Yeah. Because I've got quite a few people doing that, and I do the little extension tubes for them and coat them. But then you lose all the entrainment. You lose the radiant. You're not moving the radiant heat from the stove if you're doing that.
No, but in his scenario, of course, he was using the stove, and he had there 2 or 3 doors from that room. Yeah, right. And he was just able to open the doors and let the air circulate around in there. Yeah. So it was very effective. It was just a small.
That's fantastic.
It was a 2-bedroom, proper. Yeah, yeah. Just a compact bungalow, but it was just ideal.
That's brilliant. That's lovely to hear. And so you've fitted quite a few now around here.
We've fitted quite a few. They mainly go in Inglenooks, but we've also fitted them on freestanding stoves as well.
Right.
So you'll see, Contura's a strong brand for us in there, and we've done them on Contura stoves and conservatories and all that type of rooms there. It's just people making the most of the heat from their stove, and obviously they're a bit of wasted heat, that's going up a chimney as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And do they feed back to you how well they work?
Absolutely. That's right. It's just we believe that space heating from stoves in there is where things are at. Yeah. And perhaps water-based heating is not required. In my own house at home, and I don't use my central heating anymore. I just use my Recoheat to heat the main area of my house and my office, the staircase, and there. So my radiators are now ornaments, on the property.
That's fantastic.
Even in the winter time.
Right, yeah. and it must be pretty bleak up here in the winter.
The winters are getting a lot milder.
Right.
You're a bit further north, as you know.
Yeah.
So the temperature can be lower, but even then, I don't need to use my gas heating anymore. From a radiator point of view.
That's brilliant. That is fantastic. Well, thank you very much. That's brilliant. It's lovely to have. It's lovely in an area to have somebody who, is using them using it as well as fitting it is
Exactly.
fantastic. You know exactly what you're talking about with
And
it.
there could be a Scottish thrift angle on that as well, of course.
Yeah.
Which is you don't want to be paying any more for your heating costs than necessary.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think most of our customers they don't want to be dependent on oil magnates and the gas prices being switched on up and down, and the dependency.
Exactly.
And it's
We're also more rural here, so we've been prone to power cuts. Obviously Storm Marvin and all the storms that have been there since. Lost power and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So some people have been off for 10 days.
Oh, wow.
So all of them that you ask, the wood burning stove
is absolutely crucial. Yes.
So they then realise how valuable it is, and then they want to do more and more from it because the Recoheat just allows you to do that.
Yeah, especially as you can run it off battery.
Well,
A car battery, it runs for a very long time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that's brilliant. Oh, great. Star. Okay, so that is really interesting because apart from anything, the cost of fitting a boiler stove and the radiators and all the infrastructure to do that are obviously very, very different to changing your flue and fitting a Recoheat. So there's significant advantages to doing that. And though some houses, because of the scale or various other things, and perhaps the infrastructure that you've already get in, you're not going to change that. But where you are looking for shifting heat around using a wet system, it's very interesting if you can look at the Recoheat potentially providing an alternative to that and saving yourself a vast amount of money, and also changing the way that you heat your house, because the heat is very different when you're heating the air compared to when you're heating radiators and using the convection flows of those to heat your house. So that's really interesting to hear, and thank you very much to Neil for his fascinating insights.